Happy Hive friends. It's time for another What's She Making Wednesday. And I've had some requests for some watercolor fun. So we are gonna watercolor today. So I'm gonna be showing the Celebrate Sunflowers since they were such a big hit in the comments. We're gonna use this today. So the Celebrate Sunflowers is one of our stamp sets. We're gonna use that today. I've already got it attached here to my Stamparatus. Got some basic white here right in the corner with my magnet. And since we're gonna be watercoloring today, we're gonna use some Stays On ink. And it really does stay on. So we're gonna ink up our sunflower here. Little coating in there. So we're gonna ink up our sunflower. I love this sunflower, especially as we're going into the spring and into summer. This sunflower is so pretty. So I'm just gonna ink that up real good. And we're gonna flip over on our Stamparatus. We're gonna push. And let's see, did we get it? Actually, we did pretty good on that one. Okay, so we've got our sunflower there. If we had missed a spot, we could ink up our sunflower again and repress it down. That's what's so great about our Stamparatus. It's a stamp positioning tool that really helps, especially on these detailed stamps, to get it totally inked up how we want. So we're just gonna put our Stamparatus aside here. And we are going to do some watercoloring today. So Stampin' Up! Has some fun watercolor pencils. Comes in 2 different sets of our watercolor pencils, and we have these fun water painters. We also have some blending pens and a few other things that go great for watercoloring. But I'm gonna show you 2 techniques today that I really love. So one is gonna be using our watercolor pencils with our water painters, and one is going to be using our ink from our stamp pads. So we are going to use our awesome sunflower here and some of our leaves. So I'm going to show you first with our watercolor pencils. So first up, these are our water painters. It comes in a set of 3. And they look like this, and it comes with 3 different kind of tipped ends. So this is the one that I love. Kind of looks like a brush. So we're going to use that today. And since we're doing our sunflower here, so we've got these colors that match our ink pads and paper. And we also have these set of colors. So we're going to use this one today. This is the watercolor pencil assortment 2 because it has crushed curry, and it's such a good sunflower color, in my opinion. So we're gonna just find this into our pencils here. And that is it, crushed curry. Okay, so the first way that we're gonna kind of do this half and half on this sunflower so you can see both techniques. But the first technique would be to use the watercolor pencils. This is kind of the fast, I call this like the fast watercolor way. And so all you're gonna do is color kind of some outlines, kind of in the areas that you want darker of this beautiful sunflower. And then here's what's so fun. So you can see all I did was kind of outline a little bit into our sunflower. And then our water painter, we'll take the lid off here. It's got the brush end, and then inside here, you just fill this with water. That's what's in there, you can see it. I filled it up right before, so it was full. And all we're gonna do is squeeze, and little bits of water come out. And look how easy this is. Simple and easy peasy, right? To watercolor. I love watercoloring because this technique is so super relaxing. So let's say we're like, oh, it's beautiful, right? Let me show you a little closer. It's beautiful, but maybe we want a little darker. So you can take your pencil and you can add some more, kind of right on top. Go back to our water painter here. And just kind of blend that together to kind of darken up that area. So see, you get kind of some variations. Isn't that pretty? So I love that. So that is kind of technique number one. Technique number two is going to be using, let me put our lid back on, our stays on here so I don't stick my hand in it. But let's use our crushed curry. This is our stamp pad. What's so cool about these is they actually are stored, the ink is actually stored upside down. So you flip it open, slide it in, and that would be how you use our ink pad. But I'm going to show you, if you notice, I have some acrylic blocks here. And so one way that you can do this is you can actually go straight into the ink and go down. Or what I like to do is to take my clear, these were our acrylic blocks that we use to like stick our stamps on, and you can just press it right into the ink. So now we have some ink on the end of our acrylic block here. Close up that crushed curry, and now we can take and watercolor directly from this ink. So if we squeeze out more, you can see some drops there. See how you can see that I got some more water there? So that'll give us, the more water we use, the lighter it will be. The less water we use, the darker it will be. See that kind of variation there? And then, you know, we want to highlight and do some, you know, sunflowers kind of have multi-colors in them, right? So we could put some orange in here. This is our pumpkin pie. Our pumpkin pie and our crushed curry go real pretty together to create our sunflower here. The middle of sunflowers is always brown, right? So we have our early espresso here. And we can just take this and go right here in the middle to create our sunflower's middle. Isn't that pretty? So that is what I surely call easy peasy watercoloring. So those are two techniques, both beautiful techniques. And I love how this set, this Celebrate Sunflowers set, it's just so perfect for watercoloring with all that detail in there, right? So whenever we want to watercolor, we want to use that stays on ink, and that prevents the water from bleeding in with the black ink. Pretty cool, right? So I've done a little bit of magic of TV here. Put that aside. And what's cool is our stamp sets also, you can get many of them, you can get matching dies. And so the dies will actually, you take our individual dies with our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So we would put this, we would line this up. Hang on, Tracy. Okay, so we're gonna fix the end here. Anyway, okay, there it goes. So we would line that up just like so, and this metal die, we would run the whole thing through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then with some magic of TV, voila, we can cut out, without having to fussy cut all those little areas, we can have our dies that cut out our pretty sunflower. So we're gonna use this here. Let me clear off the table. I love our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I love how so many of our stamp sets have matching dies that cut out those images for us. So let me put that one aside. We have our die cut sunflower, and what is so fun is I've already created a lot of the pieces. We're gonna put a card together real quick. So I have a card base here with that crushed curry. Remember, that's the same color that we use to watercolor into our sunflower. And so we're gonna take our card base here and we're gonna do a couple of fun things. So I have some pieces that I already cut out. I watercolored some leaves to go with our sunflower and die cut those with those same dies. So we'll put those aside. I already stamped one of our sentiments that's part of that set. Let's celebrate you. And then I've got some papers here. So I've got a layer that we're gonna use. This is in Mossy Meadow, which is the same watercolor ink that I used to watercolor those leaves. So we're gonna put a card together here, all kinds of fun. And then something else that our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine has are these awesome embossing folders. So what's so fun about these is you open them up, you stick a sheet of paper inside, close it up, run it through that Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. With the magic of TV here, I've already done that, and this is our cane weave. Isn't that so pretty? Our cane weave embossing folder. And so that dry embosses, and hopefully you can see that it raises that up to give your paper that fun texture. So we're gonna use all of these pieces today. So I'm gonna take my Mossy Meadow layer here and my basic white with the cane weave, and we're just gonna glue this with my favorite green glue, which is just our multi-purpose liquid glue. Gives us a little bit of wiggle room. And we're gonna take our embossed layer here, and we're just gonna center this and attach it right to our Mossy Meadow. So we have our first layer. And then I thought it would be fun to use a little bit of ribbon. So we're gonna use one of our natural ribbons here. So we're gonna open this up. And we're just gonna cut a piece. We're gonna put this kind of right around the middle here, just like so. So I always like to cut it so there's enough around the edge. You don't want it too short and coming out, right? So let's just trim a little bit off here. And you can attach this a few ways. You can use our glue. We're gonna use today our Stampin' Seal Plus. Forgot to grab that. This is our Stampin' Seal Plus, and so the plus is really strong. And so it's just kind of some liquid tape, we'll call it. So we're just gonna put a line of that. Hopefully you can see that. And then we're just gonna line up our ribbon, attach it right to there. We're gonna flip it over. Just put a couple little strips there so that we can stick these corners around. Now we have our ribbon just right around the edge there. Easy, easy, right? Okay, so now we're gonna take this and we're gonna use our green glue again. Gonna attach this to the front of our card base here. Make sure it opens the right way. You never know, right? And we are just gonna attach that right down. Okay, easy so far, right? Okay, now let's take our pieces here, our Magica TV pieces, and we are gonna attach all of these on. So first up, let's attach our sunflower, and I'm gonna attach it using our Stampin' Dimensional. So this helps the image to pop up. So they're kind of like foam beehive hexagons. We're just gonna put these around like so. We're just gonna pop off those backings. Make sure I get them all. Okay, and then we're gonna align our sunflower kind of right over our ribbon there. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now our leaves, we're gonna attach our leaves. I'm gonna use some green glue here. And we're just gonna put this on the back of our leaves. And we're just gonna tuck them in, kind of like so. There we go. And our last one here. Let's put this guy down here. Okay, beautiful. And then we're gonna take our sentiment here, and I think we'll pop this one up too. So let's flip it over, add some dimensionals here. And all these stamped images and sentiment are all from our Celebrate Sunflower set. So we're doing the Let's Celebrate You, and I cut out all those images with the dies, the matching dies that go with that. Okay, so let's pull off the backings here. We'll attach our sentiment. Kind of right there at the bottom. Okay, and I always think it needs a little embellishment, don't you? Okay, so one of my favorites right now is our champagne rhinestone jewels. So they're kind of like that champagne, almost rose gold color, and they have sticky on the back. So I like to use the Take Your Pick tool. It's the easiest for me. And so we're just gonna attach a few of these guys just right onto, now this one is stuck to me. There we go. So see, I just like to get it right on the end to there. And let's do another big one. And we'll maybe put that one up here. So there you have it. Let's Celebrate You. I love the dimensions that creates with our dimensionals. I love the look of that watercolored image. What do you think? You have to tell me in the comments. Let's celebrate you. I love our watercolor effect, and I love our Celebrate Sunflower set.